audio. There we go. Can you hear us? You're muted, Coach.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right, we'll get going. Tom, you want to start us off?
Okay. Sam, sorry to hear about your diagnosis. Anything you can tell us about how you're feeling and all that? And then I have other stuff.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you about the fact that your numbers, if you look at y'all statistically, your numbers don't speak to a team that should be 4-2 or 3-3. How are y'all doing that?
You mean we got some bad numbers?
Just mediocre statistics.
Yeah, I think we're doing it with takeovers. Turnovers. I think we're doing it with turnovers and opportunistic scoring and opportunistic fourth and ones, and a lot of belief and a lot of energy out there. But numbers a lot of times accumulate over a 6-game season so far, and not necessarily game to game. So I'm feeling great. I'm not feeling great. I'm embarrassed. I wish I wouldn't have got the COVID. I'll be honest with you. I haven't done anything different than what I've done, ever since we were on test 33 and the countdown was down to 12 before the regular season. I got a call this morning at 6:30 and said that I'd tested positive. And so I went up this morning to retest because I feel, the same as I have all year, and was ready to get going with Florida. We'll certainly continue that. That won't be a problem with our coaching staff, but I'm just disappointed. I mean, you get into coaching to coach, and I'm just disappointed I'm not going to have that opportunity to do that, assuming the test wasn't incorrect and that I don't get three negative tests in a row, which I'm hoping I do.
Nate?
Sam, just kind of in the pecking order, just how much will Barry Odom do this week as far as head coaching, and how, or does that change any until you're told otherwise?
Well, Barry, right now he's, basically at practice, I have the tone setter for practice. And then during practice, I run basically all the timing of practice, and certainly oversee every drill and all those things. Barry won't be able to do that because he's got a defense to get ready. Like today, we have the good, bad, ugly tape, and Kendall will work the good, bad on defense, on offense, and Barry will do it on defense, and Scott will do it on special teams. And when we go out to practice, somebody in the equipment staff will run the timing of practice instead of me, and Barry will coach defense. But as far as the voice of the team and those things, that'll be Coach Odom. And certainly if I'm not able to go to Florida on Saturday, he'll act as the head coach, and he'll do a damn fine job, I'm sure.
Bob?
Sam, I think I read that when Saban tested positive, initially he was watching live video of practice at home and was like on the phone or walkie-talkie or something to a manager and was almost directing practice, I guess, remotely, or at least making suggestions. Is that something you thought about doing? Can you see yourself doing that? Would that be effective?
No. I mean, no, I can't see myself doing that. I mean, I hired great coaches. They're going to go out there and get the football team ready. Certainly, as far as staff meetings and things that I see on tape, and I won't be able to see it at practice, but we tape everything, individual walkthroughs. So the things I see on tape that maybe we could do a little bit better, or maybe we're doing great. that need to be relayed to the staff, well, I'll certainly be able to do all that. And then the bottom line is we have a coach for every position. We have coordinators for all three phases, and they do the coaching. I mean, that's what happens, and they'll continue to do that. I'm not worried about practice. Coach Saban maybe had a different way to do it, but I'm not worried about that. I'll talk to them before practice starts over Zoom, and I don't want to make too big a deal out of me. I've got good coaches. They'll be fine.
Scotty.
Hey, Coach, I wanted to ask you about Eric Gregory. He was a guy that in the preseason you said you really liked just the way that he played. What growth have you seen from him since that point?
I really thought that he played well early. And then I thought he had 2 or 3 games in there where I just didn't see that same quick twitch, that same explosiveness off the football. And then I saw a little bit of it at A&M. And then this game here, they tried to flip the ball out a couple of times on him, didn't block him and try to misdirection and flip it to his side. And he ran him down both times, obviously picked a pass, had a really nice game. We need him to. I keep forgetting, that he's young because he's such a big, good-looking kid, but he's getting better. Handling his gap better. He's one of the bigger guys we have on the D line, so we need to continue to improve, and he has.
Trey Biddy.
Hey, Coach, how do you plan to shuffle things around if somebody else moving to an assistant coach role that's a GA or something?
I don't know. Trey, I'm not for sure that we're going to do anything today. Possibly because the practice will be very similar to if I was there. Once I get my test results back in the morning, we may add a coach. We've got a couple of GAs that we could move up. I'm not positive where that would help us, to be honest with you, because I don't see the head coaching role for Barry being any change really whatsoever until Saturday. So we'll certainly look into that. I would like to wait and see if I'm negative in the morning and go from there.
Trey Schapp.
Yeah, Coach, what concerns you with Florida? And then it looks like there potentially could be another hurricane that might impact this football game, like the remnants of the one that impacted the Auburn game earlier this season.
You talking about a hurricane from the University of Florida or like a real hurricane?
No, a real hurricane.
Because there's 2 of them. I mean,
yeah, a real hurricane.
They're really good. I understand. I'm teasing. They're a really good football team. And, we're going to keep track of the hurricane, obviously, and those things. They shift and move quite a bit, but we'll keep track of that on a regular daily basis. If you look at them offensively, they've scored, 41 against Missouri, 44 on Georgia, 51 on Ole Miss, 38 on A&M. I mean, there's so many weapons offensively. Everybody talks about Trask, and they should, because he's outstanding. But then, you look at Tony and Pitts and Pierce and Grimes and Copeland. I mean, they got so many guys that, backs out of the back. They do as good a job as anybody in the country of running their backs out of the backfield and throwing the football to them. And I'm not talking about just a flare route. I'm talking about running them deep, running them across the middle, running them outside. They're doing a really good job for protection. I think this is the best I've seen Florida's offensive line look in quite some time, actually. They've got an outstanding offensive line coach. On defense, they're getting bigger. I think the key to them is Slayton, the guy on the inside, the nose guard. And, they got the transfer from Georgia, Brenton Cox, who's playing really well. Jeremiah Moon has been there forever, number 7. And, you know, they have what they have. They got enough big guys on the inside to stop the inside part of the run. They will get after you on third down. I think you're going to have to chip. You're going to have to help on their defensive ends to protect for Feleipe to have enough time to throw the ball. And then Ventrell Miller has been there for a long time and can run and hit. I think he's, to me, he's the best player on that defense. And so where they've had, you know, where people's trying to tackle them is in the secondary. And I don't really understand that because you haven't seen a lot of teams make a lot of big plays. Ole Miss made some nice plays on them, but they're a top 5 team or whatever, top 6 team in the country for a reason. Very, very talented. And of course, Coach Mullen is as good an offensive mind as there is in the game.
Otis.
Coach Pittman, on the game Saturday night, your offensive line continues to play better each game. Did anyone grade out particularly well Saturday night on the offensive line?
Ricky Stromberg would be the highest grader on the O-line. Probably the most consistent guy we have up there. He's probably played as much ball or more than the other guys. Ty Clary's playing well. You know, I'm glad he's starting to go in there to guard and he's playing well. I'm glad Coach Davis saw that early in the year where possibly Ty would help us even more as a guard with Ricky going to center. But those two guys would have graded probably the highest of the group. I was really proud of Dalton Wagner too. Man, how can you not like Dalton Wagner? I mean, he's just a hard playing guy. You know, quarterback got hit a time or two, but for him, you know, being not repping a lot during the season and going in there and starting and playing well, I was proud of him.
Hutch.
Follow up to that, Coach. Noah Gatlin, do you have any update on him and if he's going to be available this week?
Well, not today. Maybe we can get him back on Wednesday, maybe. And we need him, obviously, but I would say Wednesday at the earliest.
Jordan.
Hey, Coach. So much has been made of Feleipe going back to the swamp. I know he tends to keep his emotions at bay, but do you have to say anything different? Have you all talked about that or maybe trying to keep that off limits?
No, and Jordan, to be honest with you, that's the most disappointing thing about this darn COVID, because I want to go back there with him. And that's the most, to this point, that's the most disappointing thing. But he'll play well. You know, Feleipe knows how confident we are in him, and I think he'll play well. He's got the demeanor, the mentality to handle going back to Florida. He knows he's a valuable part of our offense, but we have other parts. I think he just knows if he goes and does his job well, we'll have an opportunity to move the ball and score some points. But I'm excited for him to go back, and obviously I hope I'm able to go with him.
Nikki.
Coach, you mentioned Kyle Pitts already, but if he's not able to go on Saturday, what does that take away from Florida? And then you guys didn't handle Jalen Weidermeyer that well. How can you
Really?
He gave you a little bit of trouble. How can you fix that this week with this tight end?
Well, Pitts is awesome. I mean, he's really, really good. But I tell you what, Gamble is really good. And then they had the young guy, Keon, anyway, number 9. And those guys have 3 of the best tight ends in the country on the same team. Because I was thinking, well, there's going to be a drop. Well, listen, there is a drop because Pitts is incredible, but not much. And so are they going to throw? They have, you know, with Tony and the tight ends and the guys coming out of the backfield, they have so great a skill. And so it's going to be difficult, but I'm sure Coach Odom will figure out a way. We're doing a home Zoom. My wife just walked in. Let's put it that way. Don't walk 6 feet close to me, though. Sorry.
Troy Lynch.
Yeah, Coach, really glad to hear that you're not symptomatic right now. I know that we're still waiting to hear back for further results, but if you do test positive and not being able to go out to Florida, how do you plan on approaching this quarantine mentally?
Well, I watch a lot of film. I believe the first half of my day up till the walks normally with Barry, I don't know there'll be a whole lot of change because usually I'm writing notes and watching tape and texting recruits and meeting with the coaches. And then we get to 11:30, quarter till noon, and then Barry and I go for a walk. And then the afternoon part of it where I do a little bit more interaction with the staff, personal interaction, things of that nature, maybe have some kids come up, able to visit with them, things of that nature. That part of it, I'll probably just go back to looking at and reviewing more tape, maybe from practice tonight, tomorrow, or maybe just trying to find something that I see, some kind of edge that we can get on offense, defense, or special teams. I'll be able to use that time probably doing that a little bit more. It could get boring, obviously, then you have the time during practice. Because I don't want to Zoom during practice. I mean, I can watch it as soon as it's over. You know what I mean? So that part of it there, it could get kind of boring. I don't know. It's day 5 hours so far since I found out, or 6 hours. So we'll see. But maybe tomorrow or whenever next time we get a chance to visit, I'll tell you what I did in the afternoon. I got to find something to do, and it'll all be about ball, I'm sure.
All right, let me know if you've got more in the chat. Tom?
Yeah, Sam, this question is about Feleipe and his maturity level. I think at Florida, the word I heard is that the critics got to him and he responded to some criticism and stuff. What have you seen from him from that part of it, the maturity and the mental makeup?
Well, Arkansas hadn't treated him that way. I mean, Arkansas hasn't been critical of him, and they shouldn't be. I mean, the guy came in here and has done a great job for us. I don't know if Florida was or not, but I know we haven't been. Everything I say to Felix Franks is positive. Everything. Even if it's negative, I find a positive way to say it because I believe in him. And the team believes in him, and if he feels that, I think he's a better football player. And so that's our approach with him, and he's deserved that and he's earned that. But I think he's real proud of coming here because of the way our fans have treated him.
Trey Biddy?
Yeah, Coach, just on the testing that you plan to do, obviously you hope to get 3 more negative tests. So you tested today, that would count as 1. Do you have to wait any time, or can you test Tuesday with the rest of the team and then Thursday again? And if you're waiting for a result on Friday, is there a chance that you have to schedule, maybe do your own travel some kind of way or what? And good luck.
Exactly. I'm sorry. Exactly what goes on is normal testing Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, as y'all know. The results get back Monday, Wednesday, Friday, a.m. Well, this morning, I just got out of the shower. It was about 6:30, and I got a call that said that I tested positive. Only guy on the whole team, lucky me, but, and I wouldn't want it to be somebody else either. So I went back in this morning and I tested. So that result will be back tomorrow morning. If it's negative, then I'll test again Tuesday morning, result Wednesday. If it's negative, I'll test again Wednesday morning, result Thursday morning, and I'll be able to go back to work and be at work Thursday by 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. If any of those are positive, then I go back to Saturday, Sunday, and then 10 days ahead of that, and would be back to work Wednesday, Thursday of LSU week. no matter how I feel or no matter, I'm asymptomatic, so no matter how I feel.
Last one, Bob.
Sam, I know you mentioned Trask. I think he's got like 5 straight games of 4 touchdowns, or maybe it's 4 straight of 5. I don't know. Just what are you seeing from him specifically that's making him so good?
A lot of confidence and a lot of help. I mean, the guy can throw any ball, but he has some outstanding skill players. I mean, they're outstanding. But he's getting rid of the ball. He's getting good protection. And the guys are getting open, and he doesn't have to hold the ball long. I mean, he's not holding the football. And because obviously he knows where he wants to go. He's got guys that can get open, and he's throwing the football on rhythm. And it's hard to get to him. Georgia had a hard time getting to him, and Georgia's good, really good defense. Played a lot of man coverage. If you play man coverage, they're going to pick you apart. I understand you have to play man, you have to play zone, have to play 2, have to play 3. I get all that stuff, 2 man. But you're going to have to mix it up on him, because if they understand what you're doing, it's difficult to stop them.
All right, that's going to wrap us up with Coach Pittman. Coach, we love you. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, guys. I'm doing fine, everybody.
Coach.
Appreciate you, Coach.